The Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, has asked ex-Vice President Atiku Abubakar not to blame President Muhammadu Buhari for the raging insurgency. At his campaign outing in Abuja over the weekend, Atiku, the People's Democratic Party candidate in the 2023 presidential election, had expressed surprise over the continued existence of Boko Haram. Reacting on Tuesday at the 11th edition of the scorecard series of Buhari's administration, the minister said Atiku should ask his party why it allowed the insurgents to bomb the United Nations and police headquarters in Abuja. Mohammed said, contrary to the assumption of Atiku, the nation's military has curtailed Boko Haram insurgency in the country. Well, for more insight into the development, Olamilekan, political affairs analyst and development researcher, joins me now. As always, thank you very much for joining us. Now, trading blame has become the norm in Nigeria, but how detrimental is this to the collective aim of ending all forms of insurgency in the country?
All right, thanks. Can I respond now? Hello? Can I respond now?
Please go ahead. Go ahead with your response.
All right. Thank you for the opportunity, TV 360. I think at this point of our national life, we expect decorum from all sides of both the APC and the PDP, especially on the issue of insecurity in Nigeria. And as rightly said, we know that Boko Haram issue or insurgency started during the PDP era. And we also know how they failed to curtail such insurgency in Nigeria. And especially with the humongous billions of naira that was claimed to have been spent on terrorism, it never stopped. And the APC had the responsibility to even clear the August table of what the PDP must have messed up. But at this point in time, it is still throwing the bulk of blames on each other, whether it is the PDP era it started or whether the APC is not doing anything about it. I think collectively what we need to do is to find a lasting solution to the problem of insurgency in Nigeria. And that is the way out. Although the current political dispensation, especially moving into 2023 general election, is a means whereby these political are doing more or less of us trading among themselves. But that's what Nigerians are looking for, because many people are dying or many people have died and properties in trillions of naira have been destroyed as a result of this insurgency. So we expect a better means of stopping it instead of playing games that the political parties or the politicians are putting across to each other.
Now, in practical terms now, how to what extent has this culture of blame trading actually eaten deep into, the culture of Nigeria, especially in terms of delivering the dividends of democracy?
Especially, just as your person has pointed out, the issue is not for them to be throwing blames on themselves, rather to find a lasting solution. As I earlier said, Boko Haram insurgents, terrorism, kidnapping, banditry have caused a lot of economic damage to this country. A lot of things have been lost. Manpower, socio-economic issues, social capital, everything has been lost as a result of insurgency in Nigeria. So away from that, but the key thing is that we must find a lasting solution to it. And the lasting solution has to be a collective responsibility, both from our political leaders, people in government, and people outside government. But as it stands today, it seems they are not finding the reason to make it come to an end. But we must caution them that at this point in time that we have lost so many lives, more than close to 100,000 people or beyond have died as a result of insurgency in Nigeria. There are some communities in Nigeria today that you dare not go into those places as a result of insurgencies. So what are the politicians thinking? What do they have upstairs, or what do they have in their mind in this regard? And in terms of democracy, the dividends or one of the biggest gains of democracy is security of life and property. I think our position must be emphasized that one of the key dividends of democracy is security of life and property, because this is what will guarantee a smooth and seamless economic development across the board. Imagine the trillions of naira that have been spent on security equipment, security issues that at this point in time, if such money have been put into economic development, what do you think will happen to the Nigerian economy? But as it stands today, we are spending more than 15% to 25% of our budget on security issues. So what do we expect to happen? But for us in Nigeria and for everyone that cares about Nigeria, we must stay to their mind that the dividends of democracy is security of life and property. And that's what should be the watchword for every politician at this point in time.
Well, indeed, the question of execution is still another thing that Nigerians are hoping the aspirants will give answers to. But Adefalari Olamilekan, political affairs analyst and development researcher, thank you very much for your time and your contribution.